Now we're going to solve equations with two operations. So I start with x, I multiply by 3, and I add 4. So I have x that's multiplied by 3, and I'm going to add 4. Same here. I start with x, I multiply by 4, and I'm going to add 3. X, 4, add 3, right? Here, start with x, multiply by 5, subtract 2. All right, so now that I've done that, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to set each of these equal to, I'm going to use different color, all of this is equal to 43. Actually, I'm not going to use different color yet. This is equal to 43, this one's equal to 43, this one's equal to 43. So in order to figure out what x is, we need to move backwards. So I am now going to start with this one, and we're going to use the opposite, right? So instead of adding 4, right, I subtract 4 on this side and on this side so that they remain even, right? And so this is now going to be 3x equals 39. Then I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to divide by 3. And if I divide this side by 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 1 times anything is itself, so it's x, so that's going to be equal to x. And then 39 divided by 3 is 13. Okay, let's go down here. We're going, the opposite operation of adding is subtracting. So we're subtracting 3 here and subtracting 3 here. So this is going to be equal to 40. And this is going to be left with 4x, right? Because 3 minus 3 is 0. So there's nothing left there. And 40. And now the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So to undo that, I'm going to divide by 4 and divide by 4. So x is going to be equal to 40 divided by 4 is 10. I have subtracted 2, so I'm going to add 2 here and add 2 here, which is 45. And I'm going to be left with 5x here. And then the opposite of multiplying 5 is dividing 5, so I'm going to divide by 5 and divide by 5 here. So x is going to be equal to 45 divided by 5 is 9. Okay, it's also really important to go back and check and make sure that you've done this correctly. So I know that x is 13, so I put that back into the equation. And now there's lots of circling and stuff here that's very distracting, so I'm going to get rid of some of that. All right, and I'm going to put it back in there. So instead of x, I have 3 times 13. Remember, brackets also means multiplication, so that's what I'm going to use for right now, just so we get used to seeing that. 3 times 13 is 39. 39 plus 4 is 43, so we know this one is correct. I'm going to put, so I have 4 times 10, in brackets again, that's also multiplication when it's touching, plus 3. So this is 4 times 10 is 40, plus 3 is 43. So I know this one is correct. And I'm going to double check this one too. I have 5 times 9 minus 2. This is going to be equal to 45 minus 2, which is 43. So we know this one is done correct. So it's really important that you put this back in, because then you know you've done it correctly. All right, what if I have this problem here? How would you say what we've done? So like we did here, you start with x, multiply by 4, add 3. So I just want you to think about using your words. How would you say that? All right, we started with x, we multiplied by 3, then we added 7, right? And that's equal to 31. Here, we started with x, we multiplied it by 2, and then we subtracted 1. So when we do that, now I can think about going backwards, right? So I'm going to say that we did this one, this is first, this is second, this is third, right? So now I'm going to work backwards. I'm going to start with number 3. So the opposite is minus 7. So I have to do to both sides to keep it equal. So 31 minus 7 is 24. And I have 3x left, right? And so now I'm doing this step next. So I multiply by 3. So now I have to do the opposite operation. So I'm dividing both sides by 3. And that is going to be equal to 8. Okay, so same over here. I am going to add 1 to both sides. This is 12. I have 2x left over here. I'm doing the opposite, which is divide. So the opposite of multiplication is dividing. I'm left with x on this side, and I have a 6 on this side. All right, looking at a quick word problem. So, grocery store charges 5 cents for each grocery bag. Okay, so the equation, remember we've done one similar to this in class, so it's going to be 5n because the amount of grocery bags is changing. So if I know, so now I'm going to substitute these numbers in for n. So what if I had 3 bags of groceries? How many do I have? How much money do I have to pay for them? Or 5 bags and 10 bags. So start with 3 bags. All right, so I have 5n, and I'm substituting the 3 in for n. So I have 5 cents times 3 bags, so I'm going to be paying 15 cents. Right? Here, I'm substituting this in for 5n, so this is going to be times, this is 5 cents times 5, and that's going to be 25 cents. And this is 5n again, and it's 5 times 10, and so that would be 50 cents.